Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of the earth, welcome to episode 1 of Homaralia. The newly found area, one of Earth's last mysteries, to be discovered today, as me and the crew head towards the shores. I cannot help but notice in the distance, up in the skies, the clouds form which what resembles the face of a man. One of the gods, perhaps, watch over us as we arrive to the shores of Homaralia. As you can see the ship on the corners of the camera and hear its creaking as we near our destination. The sound of thunder in the distance. We can see up ahead the lights of the crew arriving upon the shores. As the face of the god slowly dissipates, we see behind the storm the rising of the almighty sun. Daylight approaches us at a rather quick rate. We have arrived upon the shores. Thunder strikes as a storm sits above the new land we are about to discover. We are now heading off the ship and canoeing to the very beaches of Homaralia. What discoveries will we find? What species reside on one of Earth's mysteries? What plantation will be discovered? I cannot wait. We have arrived at the shores of Homaralia, and what we find? Not sand, but rock. Hard, cold, wet rock from the salt waters of the ocean, the smallest of vegetation. We've endured the waters. We have arrived upon the rocky shores, and the first signs of life that we find are the most exotic of vegetation. Plants that look like they would be able to survive the most harshest of environments. The aloe vera plant is amongst these, with its spiky sides and healing properties. A bushworth, wildly grown, right here amongst the rocks. Past the first aloe vera plants, and we find ourselves standing face to face with one of the world's largest palm trees. Definitely one of the largest palm trees I have ever seen. As we continue our journey past the palm trees, we have now discovered the first signs of life. on Homaralia. Vegetation, plants, trees, the green, all fresh and healthy. We begin the journey in search of complex life, animal life. As we go on walking, we begin to come across forest-like vegetation, full and wild, uncut, no trails to be found, just the wild bush and the breeze from the ocean. As we go on walking, the bush becomes more dense, more full, and harder for the camera crew and myself to get through. All of us watching intently, searching for complex life. Such wild vegetation found amongst some of the highest of palm trees. Amongst all the bush, we still see the winter sky, yet we realize that the storms have subdued and have passed. The day has begun here in Homaralia. The crew and myself begin our first day on this mysterious land at the beginning of death, the winter, where we are sure to find the harshest and coldest of temperatures. We have now arrived after some walking through the bushes. We find ourselves standing upon flat, smooth, tile-like rocks with a reddish orange texture. And what do we find after the long search? Finally, we find complex life. Ants. Or an ant, rather. And where there is ants, there is food. I now pass you on to our animal expert from the Australian outback.
Crikey, mate. Thank you very much. Hi, guys. And I'm part of the Homaralia crew, right? And I've just found myself the first animal from Homaralia. It's an ant, right? And he seems to have done himself a bit of a mischief here, because the thing is, mate, he's all alone, right? I don't see any trace or trails of any other ants. I think he's lost himself. He might have even been kicked out of his own clan. So God bless him, but now begins a search for a nest. Where there is an ant, there's more ants. And where there's more ants, there'll be a nest. Our scouters are just working on it now, and hopefully they'll find something.
The crew have now found what we believe is the nest to the ants of Homaralia, or at least one of the many nests that we will find, hopefully, here at Homaralia.
Now, from my experience and expertise, I definitely would call this an ant's nest, right? No answer to be found, which is not surprising, because we are at the start of winter, right? And for sure these ants are hibernating. They've done their job in the summer and in the autumn, collecting food and crumbs and whatnots, and now for sure they're all, locked up in their nest, hibernating and waiting for the harsh weather to come and go. Our search will continue, and hopefully we'll find some more stuff and some more animals, right? That is all for episode 1 of Homaralia. Tune in next month for the second episode as we reach the heart of the cold. It will be the coldest time of year. What will we find and what will we endure next month on Homaralia?